Today's guest, you know him as a center fielder for the Red Sox back in the glory days, 1975. Fred Lynn, welcome to the show here. I believe, Fred, you guys know him as the first player to win Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. Fred, thanks so much for joining the show. We're coming off an incredible World Series here, truly a fall classic between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Watching this series, I'm just curious, did it take you back to 1975 at all?
You know what? A little bit it did, because there's so much drama, especially in Game 7. And actually, Game 7 is the only game that I watched in its entirety. I didn't stay up for 18 innings, by the way. And, you know, it definitely reminded me of Game 6 and Game 7. And the way that Blue Jays lost that game, a play at the plate, which, you know, it was very close. But if the guy takes a secondary lead, he probably scores. And then for me, it's remembering Joe Morgan's blue pit in Game 7 for the winning hit. It was just one of those things. He hit it in no man's land. It was wet turf, and I couldn't get to the ball, and we ended up losing 4-3. So I know the heartbreak that Toronto Blue Jays are feeling, the players and the fans. They're just crushed. But, you know, having said that, it was a great World Series, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching it.
No question. And, yeah, you got to feel for the fans. Game 7 at home, to have to watch the Dodgers celebrating on their field just kind of rips your heart out. I want to ask you, Fred, about the current Red Sox. They have a young phenom now, Roman Anthony. I believe he wears the same number that you wore when you patrolled the Fenway Park outfield. Have you ever met Roman Anthony? Do you feel any sort of kinship with the young outfielder?
You know, I happened to be in Boston when he came up, and so I got to see him play right away. I liked his swing. I know he's wearing the same number, and he changed numbers to get to that one. So that was a pretty cool thing, and I love left-handed hitters that wear 19. But I think he has a tremendous future. It was just a shame that he got hurt when he did, because the Red Sox were rolling. With him in the lineup, he was an integral part of the club as a rookie, and I see great things for him. I'm not sure where he's going to play. I'm guessing left. I don't know where his natural position is, but I sure like what he does at the plate.
No question. Yeah, his injury, that was a tough blow for the Red Sox. Really, it seemed to take some wind out of the sails of the offense. Fred, you're going to be in town in Boston on November 18th for the Tradition. You're going to be honored by the Sports Museum at their annual fundraiser, the Tradition. Curious, what does this honor mean for you?
Well, you know what? Anytime you're honored by the city of Boston and that organization, you know, it's a good honor. And I know I've seen the previous award winners, honorees, and it's a storied list. So just to be part of that program is very special. My wife and I are very much looking forward to going and actually meeting the other athletes, because they're a little after my time. So it's fun for me to visit with the other athletes from different sports and to get their input on what's going on in their world.
No question. I'm looking forward to seeing big Vince Wilfork at the event.
Yeah, I know that name.
Yeah. All right, Fred, now we're going to end it with 3 quick questions here, all right? These are kind of rapid fire.
Sure.
Which ballpark that in today's Major League Baseball do you wish that you could play in?
Well, you know, obviously my favorite is Fenway Park, but, you know, I'd like to play where you hit the ball and it goes out, like Baltimore. There's a few parks today in today's game where, like Philadelphia, you make solid contact, it's gone. Anywhere on the West Coast, not so much.
Yeah, I think that right field at Yankee Stadium would suit you pretty well today, Fred.
Yeah, it's true.
Number 2, you played in the era of cookie cutter stadiums and AstroTurf. Which stadium had the worst AstroTurf that you played on?
Well, you know, I played in the American League, and so we only had Kansas City and Minnesota. They went indoors, but everybody else was outdoors and on regular grass. Most of the stadiums that I played in were football stadiums that said, we'll play baseball there. But the worst I ever played, you can take your pick on these: Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Oh, they were just, those were awful. in Philadelphia. Those are the cookie cutters that you said. I couldn't tell one from another, to be honest with you, but they were hard. There was no cushioning on the turf and hot on your feet.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to play center field on basically concrete at Veterans Stadium. All right, last question, Fred. In your post-baseball career, has there been an unexpected friendship with a rival or a baseball player that you've struck up with that maybe you wouldn't have expected during your playing days?
Well, that's a really good question, by the way. Yeah, anybody that played with the Yankees. In our day, we didn't fraternize with the enemy. In fact, it was frowned upon by the league. So I spoke to any of those guys that I played against. But post-career, Greg Nettles, I liked Greg, Sparky Lyle, and Goose Gossage. These guys I met during the charity golf tournaments and things like that. And I liked them. It's hard for me to say, but they were pretty good guys. And I respected them as opponents, but back in the day, we wouldn't speak to each other.
That's great. All right, Fred Lynn, thank you so much. You're going to be here November 18th at the Tradition at the Sports Museum. Thank you so much for joining us today.